Excuse me for a minute. Yes, I'm 33 years old, and I just cried like a baby at the end of Homeward Bound. And I blame my mother, because she started it. Whenever we would watch this movie growing up, it would get to the part, and she says this, and she's right. It would get to the end, and there's a certain part in the end, I'll get to it, where it hits you, and you cry. So I blame my mother, and I'll explain that as we go forward. But Homeward Bound tells the story of three pets who, through a misunderstanding, because, there's that barrier between humans and animals. Do they really understand what you're saying, or do they just catch their names and stuff like that? Do they understand everything you were saying? Some dogs can be really smart. My mom's dog is actually a really smart dog. The cat is stupid. But here it's just like, some animals can be smart, some animals can be dumb. It depends. We used to have another dog who was dumb. I mean, she would turn a corner and she wouldn't even make the corner. She'd just clock her face all the time, and didn't affect her none, but still. So it tells the story of these three pets: Chance, Sassy, and Shadow. Chance is a bulldog. Sassy is a Himalayan cat. And Shadow is a golden retriever. And he's the oldest of the group. They are voiced by Michael J. Fox, Sally Field, and Don Amici, or Ameche, wherever you pronounce it. Not Robert Redford as the nostalgia critic. Well, it's Matt, would you click the notifications? They keep popping up, as the nostalgia critic said. And he even, corrected it. But, excuse me. Yeah, and they, so, the story is about a woman is marrying a man, and, played by Robert Hayes, and they have to go on business. Like, he has a temporary job or something in San Francisco, even though by the second one, they're living in San Francisco, I think. I don't know. I never really cared for the second one. That was okay. This one is the better one in my opinion. But, so he has business there. I mean, they're even going to school there. So I don't understand that. Like, if he has business, why doesn't he go and they stay? It just never made sense to me. But, so they put the animals up on a farm, which is owned and run by the mom's friend, played by Jean Smart. And I always remember her from Designing Women. Don't judge me. My mom used to watch Designing Women a lot. So I saw it here and there, So I remember her from that. And she has to make a cattle run. So she leaves the animals in charge of her neighbor, Hank, I believe is his name. But Chance, being as he's a runaway, and he was a homeless dog, he was a stray, and he has experiences with the pound, he doesn't trust what's going on, and he feels like he's been left behind, like they let him go. He doesn't trust the family dynamic. He's not as seasoned as the other two. He believes that the family has just left him, and now this woman who's supposed to take care of them has also left them. So they make an escape, and they travel across the country at Shadow's leadership on the way back home. And what happens here is, so this is a remake of another film called The Incredible Journey. And in this Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, you see it up there. Well, it's backwards, but, and this is a remake. The animals talk in this one, the original, they did not. And I've never seen the original, and I don't know if I'd ever get into it. I'm not big on, if you're going to have animals talk, and then you say, oh, there's the original, but there's no talking animals, it's like, I'm not really interested in that, But Michael J. Fox is probably the best part. As it goes to comedy, you know, and Sally Field has some things too. But there's a part in the film where Sassy gets separated from the other two, and you might be led to think, oh, she's gone. But she gets found by this person, this very kind old man, and she's nursed back to health, and then she hears the other dogs barking. She's reunited with them. Meanwhile, on the human side of things, the mom's youngest or oldest son, Peter, is desperately trying to get help to find the animals after it's found out that they've left. And he goes to the cops. They don't, but they tell him to put up flyers. And this all comes to a head when the animals find this little girl. And it's their animal instinct to stay there and protect her. And eventually, they hear the search party and lead the search party to them. And they're taken to an animal shelter. But once again, trust problems lead them to evading their return to their family. Or at least it results in temporarily halting their, it's a setback. And they all escape and try to make their way back home. And I always got mad at this part because I was always like, come on, they were right there. I'm like, they go in one tunnel and the other, like when the animals escape, they turn and go one way. And here comes the car with their family driving up the other way. It's ridiculous. Like it's right there. It's like Lion King 1.5, where Timon and Pumbaa are there the whole time and everything's just going by. I know that's not a very good comparison because the movie was specifically made to show you they were there the whole time, but I'm just saying. I don't know if I'll be covering any of the sequels to those movies this year because time got away from me. Try to do the best I can to try to trudge my way for the rest of this month, but stuff happens. But anyway, so then we get to the train yard scene, and this Shadow crashes through some rickety boards, and he's in this mud, and he can't climb up, and one of his legs is injured, so he can't get up, and you think he's gonna be left there. So then we get to a moment that I've never caught until this point in time, because I always assumed that it was a mixed family marrying. Like, it was Bob, that's the father's name. That's the new stepdad's name. I thought that Peter and Hope were his children, and Jamie was Laura's child. But it turns out they're all Laura's children. And so this moment, I never caught till now. They're playing basketball. And they're like, come on, let's do this again. And Hope's like, my turn. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Because his back is bothering him. And she's like, come on, Daddy. One more time. And he stops and he looks at her. He's got this look in his face. Like, and I never caught, like, that's the first time she's calling him Daddy. And then Peter says, yeah, come on, Dad. One more time. And I'm like, why have I never caught that before? They're accepting him into their family. I never caught that before. Now we get to the part where I cry my eyes out. Because as they're playing the basketball, they hear a dog barking. Oh my God, my eyes are already starting to well. They hear a dog barking. Jamie starts yelling for Chance. The mom's like, no, it can't be him. And there's more barking, and Hope goes, I know that bark. It is him. And sure enough, here comes Chance. And he comes running them, and they're happy and stuff. And then you hear meow. And they're like, Sassy! And here comes Sassy. She's going, Hope, 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 Hope. And you make it there, and they're all happy and stuff. And like, oh, the family's together again. And then you see a shot of Peter, and he's just like looking at the horizon, and there's nothing there. and everything gets quiet. And he starts to get, he was old. He was too old. He turns around, and you see Shadow just sort of come up the way there. And then it's the mom. And this is the point my mom always points out. She goes, oh, that's when the tears really start going. She goes, oh. And then Peter turns around, and there's Shadow, and they start running towards each other, and it's a happy ending. And it's not big tears, but there's some little tears coming out of my ducts. Okay, every time I cry, and I'm blaming my mother for this. There is one more thing that I caught this time. Well, I've always thought of this, and I always thought it was cool. So, during an earlier scene in the film, when they're at the farm, he runs into this giant turkey. Chance runs into this giant turkey, and he calls it Birdzilla, because he's not supposed to know what it is. It's this big bird, Birdzilla! And he runs away from it and stuff. But at the end of the film, when they all go into the house, Jamie goes, come on, Chance. Michael J. Fox is delivering the end, I'm home, and delivering that ending speech. He goes, come on, Chance. And he goes in the house, and you hear Michael J. Fox, you hear him yell out, turkey, 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 turkey. And it's like, so you know what a turkey is. But you didn't know that there was a giant turkey chasing you. That always bugged me. Guys, that always got me, not bugged me. It was always just kind of, it got me. But guys, this movie is getting a 10. I cannot give it any more. Homeward Bound gets a 10 from me. So what are your thoughts on Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey in the comments below? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.